They have, but for now, it's going to be quite standard. Hecarim first pick. We all know and love it. We're all used to it by now. And we all wish we had a pet horse at home. So Hecarim going to be locked in here for Suning, while AD carry is now another question for top esports. Do they put JackeyLove and Zhuo in the same position as game one? There's no Thresh available, so maybe not.
That's the thing, right? If you went the Aphelios, you'd probably have to pull out something like the Tahm Kench this time around, which, you know, Hecarim's going to run at you. Aphelios loves champions that do that. You also have other options, so if they do decide to wait and hold off on AD carry, we know the Karsa is still available, the Xayah. JackeyLove is a massive Senna player, is still spamming it in solo queue, so the Tahm Kench also leaves that option available as well.
Bit of a bait there in the end. Karsa back on the Volibear. Jungle matchup remains the same. On the other side of Suning, this was actually banned away in game number 1, so wouldn't be surprised if they want to set up a usual front line.
It definitely wouldn't be too strange. You would expect to see AD carrying support coming out on this rotation, so for the side of Suning, again, I'm just kind of wondering where's this Kaisa? When will this come out? Of course, the Rell being a massive pick for On. And ooh, Hysterics. I was saying before game 1, this is a champion that I want to see more of, especially up against something like Tahm Kench. They expected the Senna to come out. It feels like Varus right now is just so versatile, is able to be a massive late game hyper carry. You have options too in terms of build, the lethality, the DPS, or even the fringe AP build that you see some people go in certain situations.
Yeah.
So I like that Suning is moving towards this champion.
Remember as well, Huanfeng on this Varus, 2 games in playoffs so far, and has not died, so he has a perfect KDA. He'll be put to the test here in this game number 2. The center on the other side, though, people don't fall asleep. It is an LPL game, not an LCK, LEC, or LCS game, so you are going to be entertained even if the bottom lane is a little bit quiet, which puts into top esports style of draft, right? Solo laners are their key, and they're set up for a counter pick.
You better not jinx this, Hysterics, because that early game of game 1 was, you know, not the fastest pace, but, you know, I like they're talking about solo lanes. I expect TES to go for their mid pick on 4, which is more signature for them to give 369 that counter pick. The thing is, when you have a Senna Tahm in the bottom lane, I think that signals you want more aggressive solo lanes to come out.
Yeah.
The Zoe's already banned. There aren't too many aggressive options that I think are just like easy to blind. They're also taking away the Sylas, which I think could be quite hard to blind, but the fact that you do have those globals in the bot lane maybe would signify, hey, you know, Knight would be more comfortable doing that. Now, you could go towards something like the Orianna, which is his most played. I think the only other things I can think of is maybe you want to all in to a side lane style play and go for a Rise, but they are just going to settle on Knight's most played champion split.
I mean, 369 gets a counter pick, but Suning have banned the Quinn as their last ban, so might signal we just get that Renekton from Bin once again, and 369 might have to go down a different path.
I mean, there's still other answers to Renekton, right? We already highlighted the Jace, which you can play into that laning matchup, and now you have so many supportive tools around. Exactly, the GP there, and once again, another immobile AD carry coming out that cannon barrage can punish. Like 369 realistically even would have options to go more volatile routes if you wanted to bring out something like a Jax. I don't really know if I'd want to see it here. I definitely think those first 2 picks are where we will see him go towards.
This would be a bit of a right hook, wouldn't it? And Angel's played this before, and we know that Angel's one of the best Kassadins within the league. This will put scaling element in and beg the question whether Huanfeng is going to go on hit or the lethality mentioned, and it gets locked in the end, so we have a pretty diverse draft for Suning.
And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how that laning phase shakes up, because Knight can totally just run home with this before he hits that level 6 spark. Even your 2v2 is quite decent with the Volibear there as well. We already talked about the Dawning Shadows and the Abyssal Void you always have to look out for. Now the Cannon Barrage on top of it as well with 369 is going to lock in that GP this time around. So we have a lot of late game, especially on the side of top esports. But Angel going towards the Kassadin, I think it'll be pretty nice in the late game though, right? You have a lot of immobile backline carries that if Angel can find his way onto them, he'll be creating a lot of chaos, allowing for Huanfeng to deal that damage to the frontliners running at him.
I guess my question to you is if a Kassadin just overrides everything and says, well, Suning have the late game, simple as that, or if there's a lot more to it.
I mean, there's definitely a lot more to it, right?
Okay,
you
good.
have the root coming out from the Senna. You have the kind of ability for Orianna to stop the follow-up from the Kassadin, you know, ulting the other members of Suning. GP's Cannon Barrage, the barrels coming at you. It's definitely going to take some good angles from Angel to find these fights, as well as coordinating that engage with SofM.
I think it's going to be fun to talk about these drafts, though, Lyric, running into game number 2, where Top Esports took it from the palm of Suning's hands. This was a playoff series where Suning started out real strong. They held on. They put the clock up, even without the Kassadin game. And Top Esports punished Bin, punished the rest of the squad. And now they're down 0-1. Top Esports, can they beat out this Kassadin? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Start up the clock. We start it on 0 out of 16. See if Top Esports can punish the lanes before then and not let Angel get to this point to influence the late game. It's Top Esports versus Suning for a spot at top 4 in the LPL playoffs for 2021 spring. It continues now with game number 2. Now, Lyric, you know the deal. We hear the gyos in our hearts, but not in our ears. Unfortunately, we cannot hear in the stadium. And the crowd absolutely packed, by the way, as it should be. Suning making it to Worlds in 2020, grew a lot of fans. Top Esports during the period of 2020 with their success in 2019 as they built up with Knight as well. And almost actually went to Worlds, but denied by IG in the regional finals. Top Esports have grown a lot of fans as well, so reasonably newer organizations that have got a lot of new voices behind them.
Yeah, definitely both fan favorite teams here today. TES trying to be sneaky with their level 1, punish Bin if he did decide to walk to lane through River. I wonder if they're going to go for a late invade, as it looks like they are. Karsa has the sweeper, he's already using it. They're tiptoeing their way in there.
They are. So blue side start. This means vertical pathing for Karsa on the GP's angle. And you already mentioned the GP loves this matchup, Lyric, against the Renekton.
The thing is, you have windows where you can trade early, especially what would be now like the level 1 mark, where you can abuse your range advantage of your passive as well. You can start going for those trades. It gets a lot more even once we start hitting the level 3 mark, especially once ultimates are able to come out. GP doesn't exactly have 1v1 kill threat unless Bin would massively overextend in lane. But this was a very smart path from Karsa, because he not only now puts pressure on Bin in the top side, but when you have Sen on Tahm, who
that's a flash kill. Oh my god, the angle from Zhuo. If he gets a tongue lash stun, JackeyLove has the damage in that first blood.
That was just great coming out from TS. I mean, their jungle is playing towards the top side of the map, and they still have the confidence to look for this trade. They are going to hit level 2 first. Sure, they did trade summoners for summoners, but they know SofM is pathing towards the top side. He didn't go for any sneaky gank around bot, and they're just going to be able to keep pushing this pressure forward. And SofM didn't even read the cross map. No. He pathed up towards the top side of his jungle. Karsa now ahead in tempo when it comes to clearing camps. And TS just benefiting across the map.
Too late to be spotted on that ward towards his red side jungle. Look at this. All his camps up and available, and SofM's like, do I want to hit bot or do I want to try and go towards blue, which might be contested as Karsa's walking into the jungle now.
I mean, SofM has no options. That's why he's actually trying to hover around mid, because you look at bot lane. Zhuo and JackeyLove are pushing. You look at mid. Orianna has the push as On goes in.
Yeah, getting my bellet is On. Actually going to get stunned up. Remember, he doesn't have the flash. Burnt it before. Tongue Lash connects yet again. JackeyLove and Zhuo playing in a knife's edge, and that time it was Suning trying to force the play.
So we see them try to find it. They aren't able to. What's going on in the rest of the map is SofM walks through mid. He realizes there's no camp spot. He can't invade the bottom half of the jungle. Pats up towards the top side scuttle because that's where his winning matchup is. Karsa, on the other hand, looks like they want to try and punish Huanfeng. They will have a wave coming right now.
And look, On's not here, Lyric. On is not with his AD carry. Huanfeng level 3. There's the flash in immediately. Sky Splitter. And yet again, thunder becomes lightning as Karsa gets first blood. Zhuo healed up, and there is no return kill.
I do feel like Zhuo didn't need to devour Karsa right away. Had he let him tank one more auto, maybe they wouldn't have had to burn the flash then. But still, that's missing the point. They get the dive off. They coordinate it well. They pull it off right when On goes for his reset timing. So Karsa's still finding a way to impact the lanes. While on the opposite side of the map, SofM is at least getting some farm back. Karsa hadn't cleared his red quadrant of the jungle.
Yeah.
So SofM going to find a way into the lane. I mean, into the matchup, while we look at mid lane, and this is what we'd expect, right? Orianna up against Kassadin, you don't have really any avenues to play out this lane in the early game. That is why he went for the fleet footwork. We saw when he last played this champion, it was up against Sylas. You have more freedom. He did take the Conquer for, more combat stats, but showing the deserved respect tonight in the Kassadin versus Ori matchup.
Yeah, already a bit of a CS lead here, and Karsa over the wall, spotted out from a ward, so Angel has to be that extra bit careful. Saying that, though, On is here. Smite goes down, and the Rell not going to contest. It is a fake horse after all, so backs away. And Lyric, I was going to ask you a little bit about what you think now of jungle tempo. I think I am okay to continue on with the topic conversation, because SofM getting the red side camps on this top side means that the timings are a little bit scattered here, and Karsa still hasn't picked up his own blue, so he's just clearing Raptors for now.
I mean, this is what you expect from Karsa, right? Like, TS and Karsa are never a team that it's all about efficient pathing, getting your jungler ahead, capitalizing on that advantage. TS are very much a team, and Karsa is a jungler who they're going to end up giving up all that stuff and losing that for trying to look for those plays around their lanes, right? Because he could have very easily done the bot scuttle, maybe even walked, cleared his bot side, tried to at least go contest his Raptors with the prio that Knight had in the mid lane as well, so he would still be up in terms of camps. Decided not to do that, still did steal away the second Raptors from SofM, so you will see he's going to be about even in farm, though SofM's camps will come up first.
So they will. The blue buff spawning soon. There is a control ward there from top Esports, though, that will spot that out. And remember that the Volibear got first blood, so Karsa up with the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Doesn't have a flash, though, in comparison to the Ghost on SofM. Just something to keep track of, folks, as we get towards the next bout, the next clear, to see if Karsa and SofM spot each other yet again. Karsa picks up bottom side Scuttle. It's actually starting the Dragon, while you can see on the top side, SofM is gearing up to this top lane. That's Dominus used, Lyric. 369 has the Cannon Barrage. He has Flash, but he's just going to get run over. Bin flashes away, and it's easy as that.
Good play coming out from them. They know that Knight wasted his TP in the mid lane. As Huanfeng has
That's
to
a
flash.
flash.
On might be dead.
Tongue Lash, where is it? Doesn't need it. He bluffs it, and JackeyLove gets the kill.
Remember that TS dominated Suning in the 2v2 in LPL Summer semifinals last year, and that was with Yuyanja. Zhuo is definitely an upgrade in just as a sport as a whole, but I think especially in terms of the laning phase. TS doing a nice job to punish, but we've seen the map kind of revert to opposite of what we expected to be at first, right? Where we saw Karsa invade the enemy blue, but went towards the opposite side of the map, SofM answering in response as well, and it's left 369 under turret the whole game, as well as Huanfeng and On just kind of on the losing end of this matchup.
You ever been to the gym and there's that guy that hovers around, he's not really doing anything, and you're this buff guy, you know, finishing off your set, and you're like, man, I just need a little bit of space here. That's what On was in that play. Didn't really do much and just spots the red buff going away. This was a dive in the end. Bin took it all the way from the middle of lane.
That's the thing, right? Goes in with both ease, gets the W. The orange comes out from 369, but still, SofM was already on his way up, and Knight had no TP to try to answer that play. JackeyLove in response, so walking a bit too far forward. On thinks he can punish, but the Devour comes out. Nice immediate root from JackeyLove, and look at all the minions that Huanfeng is tanking, as well as the exhaust coming out from Zhuo, preventing him from really being able to dish out any damage. TS are able to just look for the re-engage with their minion advantage and find that 2v2 kill.
It's just so top esports, right? The lane that you don't expect to pop off is having a great time as Angel actually gets shockwaved in. He used the first Realm Warp as Dissonance is good damage too. But Angel has now hit level 7, chat. Remember, keep the clock running as he will start being able to move across this map. And we'll have to see where he heads first as On going for the engage in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, we do it again. Chains of Corruption already used. JackeyLove pulls back though, and On is just going to be taken down. JackeyLove with kill number 2 as Karsa jumps on down. Huanfeng is destroyed. Karsa doesn't hit the turret though, and he gets spun to 1 in the end of the day. SofM picks that one up as a response.
It's not only a 2-for-1 for the side of top esports, but think about it. They are forcing in that bottom wave. Huanfeng is losing out on EXP, he's losing out on gold. SofM will be able to pick it up, but ooh, is 369 going to go down here?
Grass gives him a bit of healing in the end. Big minion wave, so luckily doesn't miss out on that one. But you can see Bin doing pretty well in this matchup after picking up the earlier kill.
I mean, it all went in his favor, right? Despite the fact that Karsa did start topside, 369 wasn't starting on the wave level 1, which means he wasn't able to try to get that first 3-wave advantage that typically GP is able to find. And then once junglers started pathing towards opposite sides of the map, it pretty much put the nails in the coffin that 369 is just going to be on the receiving end of some bin punishment.
Yeah, he's 17 CS down for now. Karsa hovering around just in case it develops. But you can see on top of that punishment lyric, the vision control set up for this Herald play that SofM's now going to start at 9.5 minutes.
I think TS are fine with this. Suning should be able to get this objective for free. I don't think TS really have any way to answer, unless we see Karsa from last game just strolling by and getting those smite steal off.
Look at
but
JackeyLove
we need to remember, right?
Walking through a minion wave just to get a trade-off. Sorry, continue on.
No, I mean, I like it. JackeyLove just doesn't care. He's a baller walking in, doesn't... oh my god, we're actually seeing TS contest this, Hysterics.
Yeah.
TS are contesting this.
So Karsa's going to go in first. Remember, there's a ball around him. Angel gets hit for half, but Bin teleporting in will help secure it in the end. And you're right, that's a big ball move, but Suning nevertheless prevail.
Ooh, though, they're going to walk straight through mid, push that wave in, and assert some control of the bot side. They're going to get vision down, and let's remember that TS have controlled this the whole time, but Angel's TPing in.
This is a Kassadin. Angel got ahead last time he played Kassadin in the playoffs, but he might not be set up this time. Teleports in just to back away. JackeyLove's going to keep hitting him as first Rift Walk used. Angel's gone. That TP, I guess, did nothing.
No, and I mean, I think it kind of shows a few things, right? As actually, I'm going to pause because Karsa, he has his ultimate, has his Q, everything available.
He just knows. You know, he knows. And SofM and Angel don't. Walking to opposite sides, and looks like Karsa's just going to back away, not going to pick either of the two.
And, you know, kind of going back to that bot play, right, is one, TS had gotten control of mid and started warding on bot from when they decided, hey, we can't fight the Herald, and we know this. So Karsa was already in the area. Knight would have been very easily able to follow up as well. I also think 369 did have the cannon barrage at that moment. And two, we see Huanfeng going for the lethality Varus route, but especially when you're falling behind early compared to like where JackeyLove should be in this lane, I feel like the sustain that's coming out from him is doing a lot of work. And we see right now, he's going for that Kraken Slayer. JackeyLove hasn't been the type of player who goes for that Frostfire route, which we knew he wasn't going to go to once we saw his Glacial Augment coming out, but primed and ready to be a massive damage dealer, especially up against, you know, the 3 tanks coming out from the side of Suning. He's gonna... oh, SofM.
Well, he's ahead while 369...
I'm rambling too much, Hysterics.
Nah, man, you're giving us detailed information while Suning is saying, hey, but what about the top lane? Let's give Bin some more gold. SofM will clear out this wave. First turret blood goes over to Bin, and this is a big croc, like you're walking out in the middle of Woolloomooloo.
Yeah, they're going to get another charge off. 369 is flash, so he should be fine here. He also still has cannon barrage.
Oh, but the shockwave with the TP. Here comes center ult. That's the wombo, but Knight may have gone to his death. He flashes away while 369 tries to recover the play, but who do you die to? Knight's going to get Rell warped on top of, rather, the Rift Walk that goes past the limp into a smash. As 369's running away, it's the lesser of two evils here. Wants to die to someone useless, but instead it's the Kassadin, while Bin will also get the turret. Top Esports, they're in a lot of trouble, Lyric.
You know, the play looked really cool, but in the end, Top Esports should have looked for the cross map. I'm not sure if they spotted out on in the mid lane because they don't actually have any vision in the bottom side river, but Angel and On were already making their way up there. I don't think Knight would have been able to do anything. Maybe after that play, 369 walked back up or had started the cannon barrage sooner, they both could have made it out, but still, I think Knight just hovering with Karsa towards the bottom side, 369 even conceding that second turret would have just been the more worthwhile play.
So while we see this bottom lane turret continuing to be pushed in and we see some rotations from Angel and SofM, I wanted to come back to what we talked about with compositions and talk about how Kassadin fits in. You said there's a lot of tool from Top Esports, so obviously it's not just a pure scaling difference, but having a Kassadin who's 2-0 is obviously not ideal.
I mean, the thing is, right, you have 100% immobile carries on the side of TS, Gangplank, Orianna, and Senna. Sure, there's a Tahm Kench Devour there, but that's only going to save one person. You get a coordinated flank coming out from Angel, as well as SofM running in on engage. It just feels like it'll be very easy for Suning to be able to pick off a priority target and then maybe take a fight down from there. Again, it's not the end of the world in terms of composition. Something like a Root or Karsa with, you know, a nice stun, nice zone control coming out, maybe a great shockwave from Knight. Fights are definitely still winnable for the side of TS, but they're going to feel a ton of threat coming out from Suning's comp. Yeah,
but the ease from Angel, I like that point especially there. We'll watch as the game goes on, because of course with Kassadin turning into Kassadin with 2-0, it does feel like Suning have a lot more tools now. Everfrost was picked up after the play we saw, And while JackeyLove picked up the first Mythic on the Rift, things have slowed down a little bit in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, things continue to digress as 369 in trouble. Orange used. Better return damage, but Bin is so big. It's solo kill time yet again. The Croc is having at it.
And, I mean, he's just too far ahead in this matchup, right? Look at the item Stridebreaker and Caulfield's Warhammer just against boots and, you know, certain item components. So, very easily able to find that one. No Cannon Barrage and no Flash on the side of 369. Suning were trying to make another aggressive play as well in the mid lane, but TS had the members there to shut that one down. It does look like at some point Zhuo did have to burn his Abyssal Voyage, though, in response. And Suning right now, full control. Karsa knows SofM's here, so nothing's going to happen as of yet. I love Bin, the pure disrespect.
I love that Bin stood there thinking, all right, well, we'll see what happens here. And like an old spaghetti western, and turns out the person you don't expect. SofM running for his life, though, at the end after Top Esports respond. And look, yeah, red buff still, that's great. But Top Esports still down a bit of gold here in this game at 15 minutes. And both these games, Lyric, notice when Top Esports had the highest gold diff at 15, both these games, they've been pummeled in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's been hard for them, and I think when we look at Top Esports specifically, right, we've seen they struggle a lot when they don't babysit 369 in lane and play to get him ahead. That was really their successful formula last year as well, where all attention from Knight and Karsa went towards that top side. We see Suning now enabling their star top laner. Let's remember, pentakill at World Finals, not an easy feat, and yeah, they're letting him run wild.
Pretty sure it was the only
369
one in
is on the GP though, so you know, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the only one.
Pretty sure, and when you consider it's on a Fiora as well, you're like, well, that's a pretty impressive feat. You were mentioning, you know, 369 moving towards Raptors for now, has the Essence Reaver, but he's 0-3. Yet again, another rougher start for 369, but this time, the team, he was put on the weak side of the map, right, Lyric? You were mentioning before, it was trading sides of the map, but SofM ended up getting that red buff, and 369 ended up paying the price of being pretty much cooped up on.
And he's just going to have to keep dealing with it, right? His wave is going to eventually push back out unless... actually, it's going to continuously push back out. Even if he's able to get a bit of a freeze early on, as Angel gets caught out...
Isn't it funny? When was the last time you saw a Senna chasing down a Kassadin?
It's been a good while, Hysterics. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it, but, you know, I can definitely throw one in the books now. We need to remember, if TS are able to pick this up, they will be on Soul Point, but Bin has the flank.
Yeah, look at that. That's actually a double TP. Angels come in. He's level 11 as SofM starts the engage. Knight's on an island, though. Flashed on, and Bin takes the kill. Top Esports now outnumbered as 369. Has a good angle, but that's Bin's angle. You don't take that from Suning as a Cannon Barrage. Better late than never, said no one. As Top Esports, look, they've got some trade backs. That's good. But Huanfeng has the damage. Karsa's on the run, and Angel too. They should be able to catch this bear, especially with a Kassadin. That arrow was short, but still adds the pressure. And even trade at the end of the day, but an explosive one at that.
I mean, Angel still has full mana as well, so he can keep looking for this one if he wants, but I just love the way we see it is Karsa's going on a bit of a journey. Just wants to execute to turret, but, you know, great job there coming out from Suning. They realized, hey, our comp wins if we can find these flanking angles in team fights. Bin found a massive one, also opened up room for Angel and SofM to go in. Then Top Esports are continuously fighting scattered. They're on the retreat. They aren't able to get that solid front to back where, you know, Orianna and Senna are just able to dish out the damage that they would want.
But now we come back after the fight. Remember, the Dragon wasn't taken, which is why we grouped up in the first place. So we're going to do that dance all over again.
I think the thing, though, is, right, Karsa's down. Suning at 5 members up. Huanfeng's ult is almost up. He has flash still. Angel can still use his ultimate. There's really no way for TS to contest this one.
That's true. Always got to keep an eye out, though, on the horizon for Top Esports. But you're right. They're not going to risk it this time around. And Suning pick up their first Dragon of the game. Bit of damage on the far end, though, on. And, yeah, it's pretty hard to cast this person at times. There's a Knight still doing a bit of damage. Picked up the Luden's Echo, and I think now that we've had the Dragon down, Lyric, and we're not going to have an objective for quite a bit, bar that Baron, I think it's important to take stock of the items here when Suning had the major gold lead, and we do have Mythics across the board. Nothing really a surprise, but I think it's important to note that the Black Cleaver second for Bin is already picked up.
He's just feeling extremely strong in that matchup. The fact that 369 still isn't able to hit his mythic yet is quite tragic, and I think they're just going to keep doing that, right? They're just going to keep playing around their side lanes. They don't even necessarily need to dedicate any pressure for Bin in the bot side. He's going to be able to win that matchup outright. If 369 overextends, they can look for that one. So maybe using Angel and SofM as a bit of a roaming death squad, get some vision topside through mid as well, and start finding picks that way.
Also like that, if you talk about Angel as well, part of that death squad will be when he gets the Zhonya's Hourglass, right? The ability to full-on engage, time it out with the Zhonyas, and then disengage if need be with the Rift Walk. I don't know why I called it a Realm Walk before. There's a lot of realms here as Angel. Actually going to be the one caught out. Knight gets the slowdown with Dissonant Shockwave used, but it's the Flash Burn. Angel's out. Even without the other Frosters, Karsa's going in. Think about this one, Karsa. Yeah, bad bear. Go back. So, top esports not going to go any far forward, but Angel is sent packing.
Still, he's not going to be sent packing for long as JackeyLove looking for the kill on forces the W to come out. Oh, Cannon Barrage a bit, yeah. Bit of an overstep.
Yeah, and hey, there's no minion wave here. SofM's on the side. There's a Rift Herald as he's going in yet again onto JackeyLove, but Zhuo eats him up first. SofM's waiting for him to get out of the mouth. Get out of my belly! As SofM will get tagged out. Onslaught of Shadows to disengage. Suning have blinking health bars, but so do the bottom lane of top esports. Will be healed up with JackeyLove, but there's a Herald here, and Suning know how to push it.
And the thing is, Bin still has dominance, he's still a stride breaker, still has flash. He has numerous ways to get on the backline if TS did look to overextend for some of those kills. TS get the disengage, that's all they were really looking for. I think they're happy with that. Suning probably going to wait out for the next dragon. They're just going to keep trying to do what they've been doing, right? Looking for picks with their side pressure. And Karsa is just going to keep looking to be the steal king of this series.
Yeah, he is. Thank you, Angel. No blue buff
King
for
of
you.
thieves.
Oh, yeah. In a sea of them, you'd say. Because SofM, I mean, he's a bit of a thief himself, so... It's nice when Karsa's actually behind 2 levels, as that was close. If you had vision there, would have targeted Angel, but... Yeah, Lyric, further to my point, 2-level lead for SofM once again in the jungle, and we know that Karsa has been more focused on ganking, as he's still waiting in the brush.
I mean... We see Karsa fall behind because Karsa makes a lot of plays like this, right? Karsa makes a lot of plays where he's trying to find certain angles to either catch an enemy jungler or enemy player out by surprise, look for a pick, or like you highlighted earlier, to facilitate a lane. So,
as he's actually caught out.
Might be caught out himself.
Chains of Corruption used. He has himself the Stormbringer, but there's no follow-up damages. Knight's actually honing in. SofM better run like all horses should, as On is over the wall. Huanfeng, good damage here from the lethality Varus. And that's what you have to keep an eye out for. The poke damage coming through from Varus from a long way away is also going to hinder top esports.
Yeah, now we're going to want to start seeing Suning transition this pressure and their control towards the bottom half of the map, right? Dragon is up in just under 80 seconds now. Angel can push out this wave. The next wave is probably a bit too far. Start pathing down now. They're already getting vision controlled in that side. Bin push out that bottom wave, and again, you have flank angles and pressure points set up for both Bin and Angel to find ways onto the backline.
Karsa running out of there. You're talking about people like Angel finding flanks especially. Waiting for that Zhonya's Hourglass is going to be so effective for that, as top esports in this brush. Suning spot them out with the control ward. And excuse me, Angel's been in the sideline a little bit, but he hasn't been farming that much. Still only level 12 here. Huanfeng the exact same. He's fallen 40 CS behind Knight in this game, so the Kassadin not going to get that Monka W 16 point as quickly as we expect, but Angel's still waiting for one of those flanking positions you talked about. Maybe just waiting towards this dragon in 30 seconds, Lyric.
Yeah, I think they're fine to just wait because you look at the top wave, right? It is still slow pushing into TS. No one's probably going to be able to respond to that one. It's actually already crashing into turret right now. JackeyLove is going to answer. Actually, no, they can't. They want to contest this dragon. But I love what Bin's doing. He's pushing in that wave in the bottom half. More wards are coming out. So TS are going to funnel through mid. Bin will just consistently be able to hover around that bottom side angle and put the pressure onto TS, where they either walk forward and face the alligator, or they just give up dragon.
So we talk about with Suning, good side lanes while they're going for the fight. Instead, On goes in. That's 2-man Magnus on. JackeyLove kites it back. Sends out his ulti though. Onslaught of Shadows picks him up. And SofM may have just won the fight as Karsa, Angry Bear onto an Angry Realm Warp thingy. But he survives too. SofM may have just done it, but the rest of Suning need to disengage as On's the next target. 369 will pick him up, And with the damage there, they're going to go onto the Dragon themselves.
And I'll be honest, Hysterics, there was so much going on in that fight. I have no idea how Angel got chunked so low. We saw on one side, Bin is winning the fight. SofM, he wants to look for the steal.
He's the only jungler available. 1,500 on the HP, but it is resetting while they're going for the fight instead. Angel has done a lot of damage. He finally picks up the Zhonya's Hourglass and then resets out. Lyric, they're also going to get the Scuttle Crab, as Dragon has just watched this shenanigan happen for the last minute and a half.
I mean, it was a good call by Suning, right? SofM's on the map. Angel has TP available. You saw there, Knight actually had no mana, but they do have TPs.
TP for TP, man. We're definitely doing the do-si-do, as Bin has joined in as well. He actually TP'd on near their TP, as Top Esports have 5 in front of the Dragon. 5 for Suning, and we're doing it all again, but bursted out as 369. Angel, look at where he is, ladies and gentlemen. They don't know as of yet as Dragon goes down. Knight flashes away. Shockwave's there. Hits on the 2. It's SofM. Command protect. The onslaught of shadows doesn't work this time as Angel gets into the backline. He wants more resets, but he gets bursted down. Karsa as well. Huanfeng lives without any mana, but it doesn't matter as Suning have just crushed through once again. Top Esports left with 2.
That's the thing, right? It was a 3 for 2, but TS were the ones to get Dragon, so I don't feel like it is the end of the world for TS. They are still the team on Soul Point. They are down in gold. They're going to fall a bit more down as well as they start to lose some waves, and, you know, Bin doing a good job of pressuring out this turret, but I feel like Suning a bit... Oh,
yeah,
it doesn't end, Hysterics. It doesn't end.
There's a lot of damage coming from 369. He's got 2.5 items as Bin's on the run. There's the barrel chain on the next target. The Magnet Storm trying to turn it around in their favor. On doing what he can, but he's got no legs anymore. As 369 picks up kill number 4, the Cannon Barrage helps out, and Bin's gone too far forward. You're right, Lyric. If it wasn't Top Esports favored before, it sure is now.
And that's the thing, right? We saw Zhuo go for the Frostfire Gauntlet rather than the Locket of the Iron Solari. I think it was a good call, right? You don't really need Locket in this composition. There isn't really anyone you're trying to, like, protect or peel from. And we saw the value of it in that, just being able to slow on and Bin consistently set up for 369 to deal all the damage. And they're going to try and turn this one into a Baron.
This is really escalating fast, right? SofM going in quite early here. Angel on the wing as well. That's a 4-man stun as well. The Chains of Corruption were great, but Zhuo is the only one to go down for now. Healing from JackeyLove big as Angel waiting for that angle to flank.
That's the thing, right? Angel's just putting up so much pressure just by existing on the map, Hysterics. All he has to do is stand there, and TS always have to be conscious of the fact that he can jump in, find a priority target. TS not going to be able to get that Baron, are going to lose one member, still about 2k gold down, and it feels like this one's going to come down to a bit of a soul fight.
You know, if Papa Smithy was here, Lyric, you know what he'd say? It feels like a game of yakety sax at this point. We've had so much trading back and forth. We've had a little bit of a fiesta, but it's been fun, right? It's like limit testing all over again.
Yeah, and, you know, we're going to go right into the replay, and Angel finds a cool angle onto Knight, but they aren't able to coordinate the engage with it, right? Angel goes in, gets forced out after the shockwave. Bin follows up, once again forced out. SofM then goes in, gets instantly bursted. Still, Huanfeng on the back, able to find the burst, led to them winning out the fight in the end. Here I thought SofM was going in a bit too early, but still, look at Huanfeng just able to free hit this whole time. Angel as well able to get off his combo, and it is enough to take down Zhuo.
Lyric, he's 6-1. You know, there is just a cause for concern. Like, there's a small fire, and it's brewing. No one's putting it out.
Hysterics, he is 4-0 on Kassadin this split, and he was 7-1 on Kassadin last year.
Oh.
So, giving Angel Kassadin is pretty scary things.
Yeah, so you're telling me he doesn't lose much, and the chances say he could win. Well, assuming Game 1 was meant to be a win. If Game 2 evolves as such, I can finally say in the Suning side of the bracket that we have a series. Classic line for any caster. As, okay, Bin was almost really caught out, but end of the day, it's a Volibear, it's a Toad. Nothing really going to happen. He's just going to back further off. And I guess we're going to wait for the Infernal Soul, right? We've got 1 minute 25. Top Esports don't have a gold lead, but they have Soul Point on the horizon, which would be absolutely massive. Even for the Navori Quickblades Gangplank up in that top lane.
It's gonna all come down to this. I would have liked to see Suning push out one more wave in the top side of the map. Dragon's about 1 minute away, so had they gotten that in again, I feel like it would have been a bit more pressure coordinated with the timing of that Drake when it should be hitting turret. I still want to see Suning do what they did last time around, where it's about having Angel or Bin push in that bottom wave quite far up. Then even if TS walk in through River, it doesn't matter because there's always going to be someone on your shoulder just kind of hovering there, not allowing you to walk in.
Lyric, can I just quickly ask you before we get to that point? There is a Frostfire Gauntlet on a Tahm Kench support. Now, of course, you're fasting, so, you know, a lot of the time we're not going to see those supportive items. We normally see something like the Sunfire. Maybe I should pause because we are getting that Abyssal Voyage coming out and the Dragon. But there's a lot of tanky stats on Zhuo, so we have to remember he was the Tahm Kench that got resources. He is another frontline that we have to watch and see how he keeps Angel away from his carries.
And Suning are once again doing what they did before, right? But this time, TS are aware of it. They realize that Bin is looking for that flank from the shoulder. They don't allow him to do it. They peel towards that direction first. Now Suning are going to walk back mid, try to push out that wave and put even more pressure down. But TS, wanting to all in for Bin, is going to be able to escape. They're probably just going to start up this Dragon. And at least Suning's forcing them to lose waves on the map.
Bin's backing
but actually,
away,
that should matter, Hysterics. It's Soul. It's Soul.
It's Soul. It's big, right? Bin is teleporting in. He lost a lot of health, so here we go. SofM starts to engage onto Karsa. They want to kill the jungler, but SofM's dead. No jungler for Suning is on. Gets the Magnet Storm, but the Shockwave is even better. Down comes the Storm yet again. Bin's over the wall. It's tonight. He's trying to carry the fight, but it is good night in the end, as top esports now back onto the Soul that they should definitely acquire.
And it's execution errors. Once again, we highlighted these flanks, these dives. They need to be coordinated at the same time.
Yes.
We're seeing members of Suning jump in one by one and get picked off. Knight with a great shockwave. The members of TS just allowed to deal all the damage they want. Cannon barrage right on top of the fight as well. We're going to go into the replay here. SofM just jumping in by himself to start things off. Angel nowhere near on, not able to fall. Look where Huanfeng was on the map. He was all the way behind the pit. There is the shockwave coming out. On just gets instantly deleted. Knight with a really nice Zanya's. Bin has to go back over the wall to try to peel for his carry, which allows Knight to get away safely. And that's just going to be the fight and the Soul for the side of TS.
And that's big, right? Infernal Soul when you're running this center, when you're running someone like an Orianna that has so much burst. The Gangplank as well going to benefit off this. So top esports in a favorable position, Lyric. And we're 5 minutes from Elder, but more importantly, now the Baron threat is there. Let's see how the setup goes, because Suning still have those elements of scaling, but they're now facing unfavorable odds with the Dragon and top esports back pocket.
That's the thing, right? Is it's always still playable and still winnable for the side of Suning with kind of the way the comps go, the way kind of scaling works out, but still massive damage coming out from the side of TS at this point. Huanfeng also not going to deal the same amount of damage to Karsa. You have the sustain coming out from both 369 and Senna as well. You have Orianna shields who are going to shut that one down. So it's all up to this three-man top side from the side of Suning. Bin, though, if you think about it, he's on the Renekton. He's not going to be having the same impact that he was earlier on either. And 369 is only getting bigger. So for Suning, it is looking rough. You had that 6-1 Kassadin that you talked about. You were so far ahead, and it's just for like 2 fights in a row. They botch the engage. They send members in one by one, and they aren't able to get the decisive win that they should have. I
mean, people's eyes should be popping out of their skulls because Angel's almost level 16. He's those 3 items with the Blighting Jewel, meaning we are getting the Void Star 4th. That tier stacking up still, and quite rare that you don't see the Kassadin with the Archangel, with the Saras for a huge amount of AP at this point in the game. But 33 minutes in, he's still a big chief, and we have to wait and see what happens next, because for top esports, they have the majority of vision control heading towards Baron. Wards controlled by Suning, however. They have the mid push here, Lyric, and we do talk a lot about Suning's side wave controls and how they get these lanes sorted. Bin has the shove in the bottom side, and Suning have a deeper edge towards top esports jungle.
Let's also highlight the fact that TS also did play around that last fight really well, right? They knew Bin was pushing in the side. They knew that flank angle is what stopped them last time and what caused them to lose the fight. They played towards that. They chunked Bin out and they forced him off. And it shows that TS are flexible inside a game. They do realize, you know, when the cogs need to turn and they need to do something differently, they can. And they're just going to keep doing this. They're just going to keep controlling waves. They're going to send 369 to push sides. And I'm guessing it's going to turn into a Baron bait very shortly as we see them start controlling vision towards this side. But Angel does have teleport.
He does. He does, and Bin will almost have his as well. Huanfeng, remember, this AD carry also has teleport too. 3.5 item, 80 carry at that. They'll be clearing out this mid wave, and Baron threatened, but I think Scuttle was actually taken by Sooning, or at least there is a ward in front of the pit, so no threat for now. Angel can keep pushing away with Bin hovering too.
Yeah, 369 gonna have to give this one up. He shouldn't be in any threat. He's close enough to his turret, and TS are going to start the bait. We see that SofM does have his ultimate available, does have Ghost. He does have the tools to get into the pit, and the TPs are coming out.
But Huanfeng's damage is huge. Onto JackeyLove, half health him in a matter of seconds. Goes for another, doesn't connect. SofM trying to peel them off. Look at where Bin is, Lyric. They want to capture top esports, and there is no alive on the wanted poster. Bin goes into Dominus. Zhuo tongue lashes him away. Angel on the chase. SofM's here. 369 has joined in, and you know what? Bit of a debate, ladies and gentlemen, because Sooning are like, nah, maybe not.
I mean, I think TS did a good job of, like, staying clumped together as a group, because even though Bin and SofM are right there, the rest of the members weren't close enough to where they'd be able to follow up. Maybe Angel could have gotten there, but I think both Huanfeng and On wouldn't have been able to be part of the fight. And 369 was close enough, since he was in mid-wave, that he would have probably been able to join before Sooning's duo. And the cannon barrage was still there as well, had Sooning engaged, to try to, like, slow down their advancements.
And I think, you know, that's telling of a better team, right? Like, any other team that maybe we've seen, or maybe who didn't make it to playoffs in the LPL, would try and make the call and try and force something there, not knowing the tools they're going up against. So I think props for Sooning for holding the trigger, considering that they've still had control of these lanes, they've still had control of vision, they still hold vision around the Baron as well, and they are giving more time for this Kassadin, Lyric, to pick up more items. He's sitting on the tier as his very last, now has the Void Staff. Huanfeng able to pick up the Gangplank Chainsword as well.
That's what I like, right? We see a lot of Grievous Wounds coming out from the side of Sooning. They realize, hey, GP, Volibear, Senna, we need to stop this sustain from going through. They are. It's going to be a big deal, I think, especially for Huanfeng to be able to punish them with this consistent poke. And now they're going to be the ones going for this play. SofM showing on mid-wave, so top esports might even have no idea that this is going down, but there are question mark pings.
JackeyLove's going in first. He has no fear with the Tahm Kench behind him. Now they spot out Sooning, who've taken a bit of damage as the damage actually goes to JackeyLove. But SofM's in before the rest of his team are. A 5 versus 4 right off the bat as Cannon Barrage into the middle of the pit. Angel at half health. 369 wants to chase up. And SofM, this is uncharacteristic from what we've seen in playoffs so far.
Hysterics, this is Elder. More importantly, this is Elder for the side of TES. They still have 4 members available. They could maybe try to make something happen, but looks like they're just going to concede. They understand that realistically, right, it would be a very hard steal for either Huanfeng to throw out an arrow or Angel to jump in the pit. So, massive mistake coming out from SofM, and we've seen it time and time again. Now that they have this Elder, they want to force the Baron. They either get the objective or they get a fight.
Abyssal Void straight there, and JackeyLove does a lot of damage with the Infernal Soul. Knight's joining in as well. And Sooning are like, well, we have no idea, or we're not going anywhere near it. Both these epic Dragons and Barons are going to be in the hands of top esports. And this feels like Game 2 could be a crushing blow to Sooning.
It's been so crazy, too, because now in both games, there have been clear times where Sooning was in control. You saw the win condition, you saw the path, you saw how they had to play out the map. And it's like, it's not like they weren't executing the plan, right? It just wasn't being, like, done, it just wasn't coordinated. We continuously are seeing, you know, members, like, forced out or going in at separate times, and I think they've done a pretty good job of controlling side waves and forcing TS kind of back, getting that early gold lead. But the map now is all TS. They played patiently in the fights when they needed to. They've kind of baited SofM in. Now they're just going to be able to push down the mid lane. I don't think they necessarily need to pressure sides. I think there is still a bit of a worry there from Angel and Bin finding some kind of attack, as SofM once again looks like he might just want to cut off the wave this time around. Isn't even going for the flame.
Yeah. Starting off, there's only one cannon here in the mid wave, so they've got to keep that alive for top esports. SofM spotted out, and Bin's pushing top as well. Look at this nuisance. But 369, look, he's got a bit of tanky stats in him. And Huanfeng's caught out now. SofM's not here. It's essentially a 3 versus 5 in the base. Angel, you better run, because this turret is not long for the world. And top esports are just going to keep running mid. SofM, press the B button, because top esports straight to the Nexus turrets. Teleport being channeled in, Lyric, and that bin, he'll be cornered out, flashed away, but Top Esports are on the chase. Re-engage the 4-man Magnet Storm, never mind. Suning will continue playing the game. Karsa crashes down, but it is On who definitely brought the party that time. Teleport using the top lane, Zhuo dead, quadra kill for bin.
Hysterics, that was great and sad at the same time. Top Esports over-aggress, and it allows On to capitalize. 40-second death timers. Suning just stole this game that they'd completely thrown away.
You know what? We said that about Top Esports in Game 1. Suning looked like they were going to lose Game 2, and Top Esports gave them a bit of a helping hand. Suning took the ball, and this series so far has been yakety sacks. Definitely written all over it. We go to one apiece, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the line. It's gonna be a series that we have on our hands.
Hysterics, that actually hurt. We see them go for Bin. Bin TP's in, they think they can get on him fast enough. He slices and dices away, and most importantly, JackeyLove is the one leading the charge. He is tanking turret, he's blowing his heal. We see Bin turn around, and I think he uses his W and stuns him right away, which then just allows, like, hey, their AD carries tanking turret, he's next to our Renekton, jumps on numerous members, gets that Magnet Storm that you were talking about, and Top Esports just throw it all away. My goodness.
This series has been throws. Let's be realistic, you know?
Yeah.
I think anywhere else, we'd sugarcoat it. We'd say, you know, that was a great engage by On, don't get me wrong, but man, like
capitalize.
Top Esports. Yeah. Top Esports ran into them though, and one apiece. I mean, you guys can't see it right now, but we're actually looking at the Chinese casters, and they're having a bit of laugh about this as well. So this feels like this series is going to be a spicy one, nevertheless, how it ends.
I mean, both games, right? It's just each team kind of certain mistakes into certain mistakes.
This is League of Legends, right? Bro. God.
Because early on, Suning were the ones who controlled this game. They had full map control. We saw them make that play top. They punished the TP in from Knight. 369 was already losing massively from the early pathing that we saw come out. Sure, TS were winning on the bottom side of the map, but Suning had the gold lead. Suning had the massive Kassadin, the massive Renekton. They had the ability to play through sides, as we saw. They were finding the flanks. And then, like, 3 times in a row, it's like Bin runs in and gets chunked out. SofM twice in a row runs in and just outright dies. And, you know, the story of this series is definitely throws.
Yeah. Nothing more.
Hysterics, I don't know what else. I don't know what else.
I mean, that's why it's hard, right? Because you know, if we're looking at this realistically, it's been games that have been set up for success, and look at that LPL gold graph even within playoffs. And excuse me, it was Top Esports with Elder Lyric, Baron, bottom lane pushing in. SofM went for a pony ride, man. It was meant for children, but he took it anyways.
I mean, it looks like Top Esports lost while they were still winning in gold, right? The graph doesn't go back to being blue, but, you know, because there's no analysis that can be done on, like, the win or loss of this game. We all saw why this game was lost. Who do you think gets MVP? Does On get MVP for the punish of the mistake, or does it go to Huanfeng for the massive damage?
It doesn't go to SofM, that's for sure. I think it's going to go to On. On gets the engage, and I know the thoughts. And to be fair, I mean, On had some pretty good engages when he could, so yeah, you're right. It's either damage or last engage.
Yeah, it's either like highlight winning play or, you know, again, we saw in a lot of fights, right? Huanfeng's arrows were doing quite a bit. He chunked JackeyLove down to about half HP at the one Baron that Top Esports were trying to force. So I don't think either one would be unreasonable. I think the true MVP is definitely the viewers for both of these games so far.
I was going to say MVP is our chat, our audience for sitting through and going.
Hysterics. I just realized both of these games have been longer than the longest game of playoffs before this series. Both of these games have now gone over 40 minutes. The longest game before was 38. I feel like we're in it for the long haul today.
Yeah, we are, man. You know we are. I mean, so far it's been a long series. It's going to be a long night. Here's hoping we go to game 5. We'll call up Mark Z, man. He'll give us his B-woo-woo, and that'll really just cap it off, I think. But one apiece, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get our thoughts together. Suiting versus Top Esports so far has been a ride, and we're only getting to the top of the roller coaster. We'll see you after this.